Been a while since we did things this way. Let's see if it still works. Hi, I'm Ben, welcome to my book corner. Today we're doing a bite-sized review as part of Don't Die July for Graveyard Shift by M.L Rio. This is my second book from this author, the first one being If We Were Villains, which is one of my first reviews on the channel. I will link it above if you want to go and see how much my style has changed since then. Well, this is a very, very different beast because this is a mystery horror novella with a dark academia backdrop. So, I'm going to start with a blurb on this. I'm going to tell you a little bit of the overarching story, and then a little bit about what I really like, and a little bit about what doesn't work quite so well for me personally. So, let's start off with the blurb. Every night in the college's ancient cemetery, 5 people cross paths as they work the late shift. A bartender, a rideshare driver, a hotel receptionist, the steward of the derelict church that looms over them, and the editor-in-chief of the college paper, always in search of a story. One dark October evening in the defunct churchyard, they find a hole that wasn't there before. A fresh open grave where no grave should be, but who dug it and for whom? Before they go their separate ways, the grave digger returns. As they trail him through the night, they realise he may be the key to a string of strange happenings around the town that have made headlines over the last few weeks, and that they may be closer to the mystery than they thought. So, as already mentioned, you have a group of people who have very unsocial hours, or in some cases suffer from severe insomnia, and this is just a place that they naturally congregate to, away from the crowds and the other people, kind of for a bit of peace, kind of for a bit of companionship as well. And I kind of quite like that. And speaking from the author's notes as well, this is something that the author themselves kind of used to do when they were going through their university days. So, like that little point. And you have quite a mix of characters here with different skill sets, different life experiences. Some are college dropouts, some are still in college, or still have access to college facilities as well, or university facilities, I should say. So, do like that. The idea of finding this unopened grave with nothing in it, sort of this open grave with nothing in it, I should say, is an interesting plot hook in itself. And as the investigation begins to take part, as they see the grave digger and them putting something in the grave and burying it, you begin to get a sense that something isn't quite right. And this leads into the dark academic background of the story. When they investigate the grave, what they find is not human body parts, as you would potentially think, but rats. Loads and loads of rats who don't quite look right. They look like they've been infected in some way with some form of mycelial spores, with stuff over their eyes and their mouths in particular. And this then leads into the academic aspect. And perhaps for me the most interesting point of this entire novella, which is the whole premise of this being, this is a group of experiments and medical trials gone wrong, that has then been shut down but still carried on behind the backs of the FDA, which is a really, really strong and well-worn storytelling trope in many regards, but it's one that does work really, really well. So you have this misfit group basically Scooby-ganging it to figure out what's going on. And I do like a number of the characters in here. The problem you have with this is that you have multiple POVs, and this is 140 pages max. So this is where we start to hit the bump in the road with this for me personally, because I think for me personally, the idea of what's behind this would work better as a longer work than this. We don't really get enough time with any of the individual characters to build a level of rapport with them, or to really care about their lives or what they're going through. So anything that happens involving them kind of feels like it lacks a little bit of not so much consequence, but it doesn't feel earned in a lot of ways. Also, the fact that this is set over a very short period of time, it's only set over a couple of days maximum, and they very quickly unravel this entire conspiracy, which again, there's a level of disbelief here, but this is something that again would fit over a longer period of time better because of the pure ease at which they unravel what's going on here. And that's kind of the whole thing with this entire thing. This would work better as a slow burn, longer novel, which the author has shown they can do, with If We Were Villains, and this kind of feels like it needs to be stretched out to build up a little bit of tension, to let the mystery settle in and become even more sort of unnerving than it already is, because the actual mystery itself and what's going on is quite unnerving. The medical testing thing go wrong does work really, really well. It just lacks the time to breathe here. Also, it does feel like it ties up rather too neatly, rather too quickly, which again is a shame, because you could build the mystery and have them hit the roadblocks as they're going along the way, and that just doesn't happen. Everything just kind of feels like it falls too neatly into place throughout the course of the story, which takes away the aspect of this being a thriller for me personally. Finally, there's the ending. There's one little thing right at the end of this book, which is very open-ended in the way that I don't like as book endings. And I don't mind open endings that are really ambiguous. Actually, I tend to prefer them. This is one that doesn't really do anything for me. It doesn't look like it's going anywhere. It doesn't build on anything we've really learned before. And it just falls a little bit flat. Now, that being said, this is only 140 pages. It is a solid premise. It is well written. What you do get of the characters is well done, and there are a couple of standouts in there. I like the way that they sit together as a group, especially right at the beginning, as you've got that initial introduction and the banter. I think that is really well handled. This just feels like, rather than being 130 pages, it should have been 250, and allowed the story and the mystery and the suspense to build and breathe a little bit. But that's just my thoughts personally. I would love to know yours. That's my thoughts on Graveyard Shift by M.L Rio, my first read for Don't Die July 2025. If you've read this, what do you think of it? Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see you very soon.